Now, Dred, we talked a little bit about the game, and there were many things that you could not agree on. Let's talk about the role of Johanna and Sonya in particular.
So with how high they were prioritized right out the gates is something that we brought up. We've almost never seen that high. And then to play it very standard, it confused me largely because the longer the team fight went, the better the composition got when you looked at their opponent's composition.
At
so
chips.
I was just at chips. So I was just like, why would you prioritize these higher than anybody has ever done before and then play it into accent your opponent's composition? I said it already that I felt like if they were playing a better team, that their comp was going to essentially fall off. Even with the falling sword coming into play, like that's how I felt like it would lose out. And I feel like that game showed that it was just like, it was way too close. And I feel like another team would have just eliminated them.
I can understand the Sonya. I don't mind the Sonya in terms of prioritization, but the Johanna was something that was a little... That's interesting, because we assumed that it would be that kind of, we're going to try and blow you up.
Yeah, and against the Lunar, that's the dream, right? Like, it's just that she is so vulnerable to that style of play. You just hit her with a leap, shot of fury, spam the W button, falling sword comes in, she's just dead, especially if you hit the support with it.
Now, despite this first game not being the most spectacular we'd ever seen, there were still some highlights that we would like to analyze in the replay, Dred.
Yeah, there's actually one. It's the very last team fight that we see. So Stitch is going to come in here and force the Bile into a team fight. And it's a huge shout out to Grand Paquete's skill level here. Look at the efficiency and the healing to be able to keep everybody alive. Timing his palm here onto Zarmandi to make sure he survives and then actually keeps himself alive as well. Without that, his team wouldn't be able to turn around. Now, watch the focus fire here. It's the only reason they wiped this fight. Ma comes in, good isolation here, but it's the before Ancestral hits, they're able to confirm one more kill, which allows them to get the win here. Everybody is instantly bursting in. Li Ming coming in, doing a great job, along with Eternal, the spin to win, and that was really why they were able to win the game there, which I was very worried because if they didn't end the game there, I already brought up about how hard it is to end games there. They, outside of boss, had no way, and they were at 75 gems is what they needed to be a counter turn it. It just was so far away that I was like, if they don't do it now, Chips is going to win.
And on this map, when you are ahead, you'll actually collect fewer gems than your opponent.
Yes, because the minion waves are pushed in the opposite direction.
I've seen games where it's like you collect like 20% as many gems as your opponent. For every 5 they pick up, you get 1. Because they're at the keep.
I think what was cool about that last engagement as well is we actually see Zagara mostly being a Mawbot.
Yeah.
And even when we look at Li Ming's follow-up damage into that, she blinked in teleported in straight away. I'm like, I'm getting this calamity damage out there.
Right.
And I mean,
without it, they wouldn't have gotten the kill.
When you have that kind of confidence in that position, you're not going to do anything against Li Ming when she has that kind of follow-up.
Now, guys, do you think that Stitch has actually fulfilled his role in this game? Did you like the pick, Robbie, or do you think another warrior would have been better to protect the back line?
Well, he's one of 3 great wave clear tanks. Warriors, and I think in that sense he fulfilled it, considering that Johanna was taken from the other side. I think it's not wrong, but it's really tough to say like this one basic ability, I'll use it only for show. I wouldn't have minded if he just never used it.
Right.
I know that's kind of weird, and sometimes maybe we get some bonus damage, but it got 0 kills.
So we can move on to game number 2 between the Chips and TEH89, which is going to take place on Infernal Shrines, by the way. So it's the, so to speak, go-to map these days in competitive because it's a very balanced map. It's very nice for you to actually get that objective. The Punishers aren't really that tremendous in the early stage of the game. So it's, once again, similar to Tomb of Spider Queens, not that snowballing as other maps like Blackheart's Bay, for example. Infernal Shrines, is there anything that a good team should always be aware of on this battleground in particular?
Wave clear is still really, really valuable, but more than anything is that every strategy is viable. So always be worried about like, well, they could do this, they could do that, because it's one of the few that actually is appealing to almost every style play.
And just in case you're newer to Heroes of the Storm or you haven't really figured out like how to play very well and efficiently on Infernal Shrines, Professor Grubby is now going to explain how it works and how you should do it.
My pleasure, Kandrik. Infernal Shrines, a 3-lane map where in one of 3 random locations there will be an announcement of a Punisher coming. You don't know which one it's going to be until you click it, at which point you have to clear 40 neutral minions to be able to capture the Punisher for you. It can be a Frozen Punisher, an Arcane, or a Mortar, and they each have their different properties. But one thing they have in common, they like to bash the opponent's faces in. Use them to chain stunts, as well as the myriad of mercenary camps on the map, like the Impalers or the Fallen Shaman. And you have a map that is full of options, full of different play styles, and with a very narrow fighting position around the objective. And this is going to be key in the both of the teams' draft, actually, where certain heroes go up a lot in value. For example, Kerrigan and Diablo.
I didn't realize he was a professor. We got a doctor here.
We have Dr. Dread. Now we have to find a title for you as well, sir.
I mean, I was expecting something like Cleric Carol to come out. I'm really, really worried at the moment. So
I'm going to think of something for you later,
thanks,
James.
great. I wish I was the host.
Too late. Now, once again,
now
we
you know how it feels.
No.
We see both teams are getting themselves ready. And I really like what you said, Grubby, that certain heroes get a higher prioritization on Infernal Shrines, whereas some heroes actually have a lower priority. I think of Li Ming, for example, because it's very hard for her to actually land her skill shots when these skeletal offenders are online and sort of blocking these projectiles. Any other heroes, Dread, that you think aren't really that necessary on this battleground in particular?
Actually, that aren't necessary.
Or you can also say heroes which are really strong.
I mean, it's the Kel'Thas Tastadar. Stitches does gain value. Actually, Diablo spikes on this map higher than some of the others.
Yep.
Also, Tyrael does a little bit as well. But the heavy wave clear ones,
Right.
Sonya actually gains higher value on this map than any other because of her ability to skirmish over the defenders and be able to heal up.
And of course, Kerrigan.
Yeah, Kerrigan is another one. Yeah, that she gains viability here as well. So it's a beautiful map. It is my favorite. At first, I kind of didn't like it, but because of the draft diversity that it brings up, it's one of the few that I'm just like, actually, all right, we're gonna have another game.
I love it, and I actually adore watching a good Kerrigan on this map.
Yes.
I think a good Kerrigan on this map can have so much impact, more so than most heroes on other maps. Like, because she thrives so much on those shrines, because you see not only the clear of the shrines very quickly, but also, well, we saw it in NA very well with, was it Udall?
Michael Udall, yeah.
Like repositioning to then get in a position where the combo is going to hit a priority target. It was beautiful to watch.
It was a double leap onto a target to then get a great combo.
So good.
It's like her positioning, just like where normally her kill potential sits like only directly around her, on this map it's now like she could triple leap here, get onto me, and it's like I could be dead. So.
Yep.
And I think we deserve a Kerrigan after that first game.
I without a doubt agree with you.
I like that.
I mean, just the
you came in here and you said you were a little confused about the first game, and I was wondering if that was the only adjective that you could think of to describe your emotions, at least which you could share on air. I guess.
Don't enable him. Don't enable him.
Dread would never say such mean things anyway.
would never.
He's a very educated, sophisticated person, and he always has himself under control. But jokes aside, I'm actually interested in seeing if both teams are just going to continue doing what they were doing, playing passively, playing patiently, because sooner or later, they will have to force something, especially on this map. And Kerrigan or other really aggressive heroes, melee assassins in particular, can always provide this act of aggression. Now, do you think that heroes like Kerrigan will actually be picked in the game number 2, or do you think that especially TEH89, they just want to play it safe and bring the game home, bring the victory over the series home?
They may end doing this kind of safe and standard again. It's actually not as common, I would say, in Europe compared to other places. Darkmock is someone on My Insanity that you see quite often, going down that path. If we're going to see it from anywhere, maybe I would see it from the Chipsuit. It's kind of just to throw a spanner in the works. I'm undecided. I'm 50-50 on it, really.
And they're the ones to make a move because they have to tie the series 1-1 after all, right? So, the Chips are a little bit under pressure here. They, of course, don't want to go down. Just in general, though, guys, the loser of this best of 3 isn't automatically out of the tournament. In the group stage, we have a double elimination bracket, so we're going to have a losers match and a decider match at the very end. So just you guys know that it's not all over yet. Once you get to the playoffs, though, if you lose there in the semifinals or the grand finals, you're out of the tournament, but you still have achieved something. Talking about the prize pools, by the way, it's pretty hefty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I think it's 25,000 for first place, 20,000 for second place, and then moving on down, of course. But we only remember first and second anyway. So it's okay. By
the way, Kalaris, talk us through this special scenario that could occur if we have a,
Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of people look at Dignitas coming in as the likely favorite for the entire tournament. Again, some people may be a little bit apprehensive because of Alex's addition and seeing how they're going to do. But if they do come first again, and if a team other than My Insanity comes second, then there will be a series to determine who is going to be moving on to DreamHack Summer. If My Insanity do come second, then they're automatically qualified because they can't play against themselves. But if they do play against themselves, I'd be very excited to watch that series. So
it's only if they get second and Dig wins. If Dig does not win, the team who wins the tournament then will be the second seed.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
where are they going to play that series? Here?
I believe so.
Are they?
Because
That's a good question, actually.
Are I guess mostly the same teams are here.
Yeah.
I mean, My Insanity is here.
Right.
And yeah. So
it's okay.
We're good.
We're good to go.
The only missing element
Right.
is only if My Insanity wouldn't have made it, that they would have had to be here anyway to play it out. So I guess it's going to be here.
They come third or something, and they're like, "We're off, boys. See you later."
To make things easier for all of us, let's just hope that Dignitas will not win it again. So definitely going to be cool to see. Dignitas, of course, looking very strong. We're actually going to have the second series with Dignitas being involved against My Insanity, the best of the best that Europe has to offer at the moment. Going to be a very interesting one as well, of course. My Insanity, they have shown strong over the last couple of weeks, but remains to be seen whether the Germans can finally make it.
They're one of the only teams in Europe at the moment I feel can try and rival Dignitas' position, and there has to be some spark. I know they're working very hard. I know 100% they are working very hard to try and find that little key that they need to unlock Dignitas, because in the last couple of series that they've gone up against them, they've got smashed. But I believe they have the chops to be able to do it. I want this to be the tournament where My Insanity conquers that.
If this is the tournament that it could happen more than any other one I think that's ever happened before. Obviously, with their work ethic, trying to figure everything else out. But I would argue just with Alex coming into play right out the gates, that roster, no matter how skilled Alex might be, is weaker than it was at the last event because the lack of amount of time that they've had to be able to work together. So I feel like if any tournament's going to be it, it's this one.
Now, I'm wondering, at some point, when you are losing to someone all the time, it is possible to develop a mental syndrome. If they win here, is that even broken? Because it's like, we already qualified.
You mean it
we
could
don't
be?
Really care about that.
You mean it could be even more detrimental?
Well, it can be like, we only win when it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like in the group against a new lineup, and the opponent already qualified.
Again,
it depends what value you place on it yourself. It depends on what kind of mental coaching you can offer yourself or someone else can, where you say, like, they did play very well, or like, we've overcome them now, we'll overcome them under other conditions. It's still going to matter, of course. I mean, it's not, they're not, I would like to see My Insanity beat Dignitas at like the World Finals, like if they make it there. You know what I mean? Like that would be huge.
They definitely don't want a repeat of Katowice, where they go in and like the thing is that so Katowice, where they did beat them in the group stage and then lost to them in the final catastrophically. Like, I know 100% Team Dignitas came in not having prepared for My Insanity. So that's one of the main reasons, not only with Nomi's scouting out and stuff like that, why Dignitas actually lost to them in that first series.
That's what I mean. It's like you can start to believe that you will only win when there's a little bit less at stake.
Right.
I've had that before, against me and as me. So, like, this is a risk, and the quality of your own mental management is gonna either debunk that or reinforce it.
Now, guys, as you can see, the current constellation that we've got going on in Europe is quite interesting. And if you guys want to participate in this discussion and you want to maybe share with the world who you think is going to win the whole tournament or who you think is going to win this upcoming series or this current series between TEH89 and the Chips, then you can use the hashtag HGC and send us a tweet. Let us know what you think about it. It's always interesting to see a non-expert opinion and definitely get going here. Now, James, get going. We see the coach, by the way, Ace of Spades.
Exactly. That's important to note as well here. TEH89 led here by Ace of Spades. You can see he's got his shifty, mystical notepad ready to go as well. So an Ace of Spades, for people that may or may not know him before, actually a pretty high-level player. And was on teams for quite a while. So, you know, he knows his stuff, Dread.
He's played for some time, that is true. But if in that hefty little notebook it says first pick Johanna and play Blessed Shield, I'm already not convinced.
Okay, no, I get you.
Shots fired for sure.
Or they could just be going easy, maybe.
Maybe hiding things.
If you're hiding things, you could have drafted that completely different.
I agree.
That was such a bold and outstanding, not in a complimentary way, move that I don't think that it was like any way, shape, or form like a strategic thing for the long run or anything else. And I mean, even in the game, it showed it wasn't strategic value of any way, shape, or form.
No, it was, as you mentioned when you came back, and as we were talking about during the cast, we felt it was closer than it should have been, right?
Yes.
All right. So without further ado, guys, we have waited long enough. Let's move on to draft number 2 between the Chips, of course, and TEH89. Kalthas being first picked. We have had a ban on Illidan and Sonya. So the Sun King filling the ranks here for the chips.
Yeah, TAS Sonya is the first thing that comes, or excuse me, Tassadar. I forgot his Sonya is going to be banned out. TAS is the first thing I think of. TEH89 is looking to first pick Lunara.
Is this real life? Are these last two drafts real life? This is a prioritization of Lunara. All right.
TAS.
It's got to be.
It's got to be TAS or Stitches, one of the two.
Gazlo.
I mean, Stitches.
Honestly, you would probably be right. I know Thero hypes it up. Yeah, you're probably closer than me.
One can never have enough one-man wrecking crews after all, but...
Diablo. It could be Diablo.
I mean, the Stitches isn't a bad call anyway as well, but like it will be TAS.
I think they're... Okay, so TEH89 in my head right now, all they're doing is trying to embody Dignitas's draft as best as they possibly can. Like
but in reverse order.
Yeah, they are doing it in reverse order, but that's the same thought process that we saw. It's almost going to be an identical composition on the side of putting the chips, so...
So, Grubby, I know that you love your references to Hero League while you're casting or being on stage in general. Can you explain to us why there is so much focus on Tassadar in the pro scene and in the normal Hero League experience, it's actually not that great many times?
Yeah, Tassadar is like the second lowest win rate on the Hero League through many levels. Apparently, I think he's really easy to play hero, but apparently he's really hard.
I think he's hard to work with.
Exactly, that's the thing. Hard to coordinate with, especially when you're not on voice comms.
Yeah.
Plus, it's like in Hero League, mostly people are trying to avoid the support role so you can do the mad DPS. And so when one person takes Tassadar, they're like, all right, I'm exonerated from playing support. Yeah, he's great with double support, but I really feel like playing Hammer today.
Ooh.
So Tassadar can work as solo support, but generally you want to keep the flexibility of a second one, and it really makes your team have a lot of sustain.
So I think...
I like that.
Yeah, putting the chips went green there for sure. Picking the Thrall. We've mentioned earlier that Thrall has been a hero that got neglected a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but he's back as a second pick. Can you tell us why, maybe, Dread?
Well, I feel like I don't know why he's been neglected as heavily as he has. Like, even when he came out in NA, we're just like, finally? Question mark?
Yeah.
So I like it that they decided to pick it up, especially with Sonya being banned out. I think that's a far higher value pick that they've gone with. ETC, I love Uther a lot more here. I think it opens a lot of options in their future of their drafts. And I'm already going to say it. I don't believe it's going to be a thing. Tychus. I want to see the Tychus coming out on the side of putting the
When
chips.
he was used like many months ago in Korea, that was also on this map.
Well, and even recently, MVP Black has been pulling it out on this map as well, going with a grenade-oriented build.
So did MY, right? Hazops pull it off. Not to great success, if I recall correctly, but there is a thing in Europe that could happen, right?
Yeah, it could.
I think overall, though, as well, this ban on Sonya, the pickup of Thrall this early on as well, this is kind of limiting factors on towards Eternal on the other side. So it's going to be interesting to see where they actually go here. I wouldn't mind a Kerrigan, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't mind a Kerrigan.
The Stitches pickup is obviously a deny. I don't think that it's any direct, hero that they want on their team. I personally feel like I would have preferred a ban rather than a forced pick. Stitch is one of those heroes that doesn't synergize naturally enough to be like, yeah, we'll just throw him in this comp, it'll work out. So I think putting the chips maybe a little bit too fearful of the competition.
That's why. You're right. They're counter banning.
I do what I can.
Eternal.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to take Kerrigan themselves. So that's why the Stitches had to be a pick, I guess. Nice analysis.
Yeah, really good.
Dr. Dread.
The Professor Grubby approves.
Apparently,
Seal
he
of
does.
improvement. There we go.
Cleric Carol blesses you.
Not yet, James. Not yet. We're not there yet. No, I think the second ban on Karazim is really nice because it takes away the combo with the Stitches hook, of course. But
are
we going to see the dibbles?
I hope so.
Hit me with it. There is no early game heroes that complement TEH89, though, which is where he thrives right now, that are available.
And if they do this, they can go Zeratul later on.
You're right, actually. That's very appealing. And you have Tassadar as the counter response to that. Ooh. You just nailed that one. Calaris.
Don't you love it?
I do. Whenever you just get that, like, oh, wait a minute. I think I figured this out. And yeah, awesome. But instead, we get trolled a little bit here.
Yeah.
We aren't going to get it quite yet.
I need to stop writing it down before they lock in.
Yeah. I kept doing that last tournament.
Then it'll be Zeratul instead, I think. They will take the Zeratul now and then get the Diablo later. I don't think they're afraid of Diablo.
Pretty please.
Oh. No?
Well, Gust control. I mean, I don't mind that either, to be honest.
I mean, especially with Stitches on your opponent's side. It gives you a lot of counter response, and on a large map, it excels very well.
I still liked my theory crafting, though.
What I also like about Falset, and it has been said many times, is that the global mobility is ever so important on many maps. What do you think about global mobility in general, because we see certain heroes like the Haka become really popular, but so far it hasn't really been picked out. Do you think that global mobility is going to be a big factor in this tournament here in France?
I think in the entire tournament.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we'll see it, but it's not been the best maps for him yet. Now wait till we see like Dragonshire and stuff.
Which is, by the way, the third map, just in case.
I know I'm weird, but I'm going to keep saying it. I would like Tychus. Okay, so against a triple backline, there is zero threat onto the Tychus. He will eat your tank alive as you sit there for hours trying to get the shrine to be cleared out.
Wait, you want Tychus against a single warrior instead of many warriors?
I would do it against either, but with the like, he could apply so much pressure against every tank available for TEH89. I feel like it is a reasonable pick for them to be moving to. Obviously, they say otherwise, but the Malfurion, though, that is an outstanding pick there as well, or an outlier, I guess, when it comes to the pickup, largely because we do have Rhaegar and Uther. I guess Rhaegar picked up for TEH89, but they do not want the Uther, which I find strange.
Later. Did I hit my head, or did we not see Muradin in either of these
No
drafts?
Muradin, no Tyrande. Where are the stunners at?
Yeah, that's true.
Stun meta is over.
It will be with the next patch or the next balance update, but we're not there yet. I'm not sure if the teams are aware, actually, but...
They decided to gut people's stuns in the next one coming up.
Yeah, really weird.
So Diablo looks like... yep, there we go. Diablo's single warrior frontline it can work out really nice, especially you have that double support behind you, right? So we've got the Tassadar plasma shields, we've got the chain heals, and of course the ancestral. Interesting team comp, not really as aggressive as in the last game, coming out from TEH89 in particular, right?
At least Stitches can be way more impactful this game.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, not even close comparison of level of impact.
Yeah, this is very much so a Stitches composition. This is very much so a Stitches map. This is very much so his playground, and we all know how much he likes to play.
I think the Malfurion pick was actually foresight of the Diablo. I think as a response, Tranquility with the Lightning Breath coming out, it helps stop it. You can also ice block it 13, so you take no damage. Everybody else usually is going to be able to survive in that situation. Because it's not like I felt like they struggled in the wave clear department between like the Johanna pickup, which came out later. They had Kael'thas also early in the draft. I don't feel like they're struggling in that department, so that's the only thing I can come up with right now on their thought process there, but...
Now, if we see Kael'thas being picked and we're making it actually through the bans, do you think that for the opposing team, a double support is a must?
It's not a must, but it definitely helps, especially Tassadar, because he is so good at... He can counter wave clear effectively, and he helps with a single target burst, which, again, is why I liked Tychus so much, because Kael'thas, Tychus, eat things alive, dude.
Yeah, because not only do you have that massive amount of AoE damage, but Tychus in particular provides that massive single target burst, and the higher HP pool the enemy target has, the more he's going to shred through them, right?
Yep.
So, Grubby, anything to add about this draft? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I like the Malfurion choice. I think I'm always in favor of gratuitous amounts of wave clear, just in case you lose someone, and so you can actually raise the opponent even harder for it. And I think he was really the only healer left that can deal with the spread damage of Lunara, Tassadar, Diablo, and so on. So I think that's an okay choice.
Yep.
Strong front line here by the Chips. And I think it could be a little bit difficult for Diablo to stay alive, even though he has double support with Kael'thas, Sun King's Fury, that auto attack damage, and also the Giant Killer Thrall.
Give us your prediction, man.
I'm gonna say again. I like the Chips draft slightly better, but I think the 89 will take it anyway.
All right, James.
I'm almost exactly in the same boat. It is very difficult for me to say that TEH89 won the draft, and I'm trying to think of it from phase to phase, early, mid, late, and I think still TEH89 should be able to take it.
Trent.
I agree 100% with both what they had to say, and but I keep gosh, TEH89 is the stronger team, but the draft is so convincing. Actually, in my opinion, outside of the Johanna, I'm actually going to go with Chips.
Yeah, and last but not least, I'm going to actually agree with Dread a little bit here, because I think TEH89 didn't really convince me too much in terms of skill. They looked stronger on paper in terms of roster, but I think the Chipsies have definitely what it takes to equalize this series and take it to a 1-1. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they have in store for us. The casters are ready. They're eagerly awaiting their move. So take us to Infernal Shrines, Mr. Grubby and Cleric Carol.
Thank you very much, Kendrick. And Dread, of course, will be joining in with those guys a little bit later on after game number 2, of course, here between TEH89 and the Chips, which I'm just calling them the Chips from now on. It's much easier.
The Chips seems better. Still don't know what it means. If they win, we'll ask them in the winner's interview, but we'll see.
Indeed we shall. Okay, so over to the blue side this time. It will be TEH89 with Sports Billy on Lunara. We have Grand Piquet on Rega. We have Ethernal playing Falstad. Sports Billy, already mentioned him. Zarmany will be playing Tassadar. And finally, Athero on Dibbles. And then over to the right-hand side, we have Put It in the Chips with, of course, Hollow on Thrall. We have Neon going to be playing Moving Around, Kale Fast. Then we have Link's going to be playing Malfurion, Rema on Stitches once again. And finally, Chris Explosion will be playing Johanna.
Lightning Bond on Rhaegar, so he will have a lightning shield every time he casts it on Diablo.
Okay. He will be that strong front line that they need to keep alive, so he needs all the support he can get, really. There is the potential for the blow-up, as you were mentioning, from KL Fast as well as Thrall coming in. But oftentimes on this map, you see a lot of attempted flanks from a Thrall, attempting to go for that Sunder and trying to get on towards that backline very fast.
Seasoned Marksman from Falstad, not the Mage build, which we have been seeing a lot. It is still in full effect. Whatever changes are planned for Falstad have not gone into effect yet. Grand Paquette needs to dodge the hook. That was...
very easily dodged.
Yeah.
How you can phrase that one.
Oh, you were aiming for the tower.
Oh, great. I don't think the towers can move. Huh?
But it was exactly at the point where he would have chosen to either go bot and try to dodge there or to go to the gate.
Yep, so the anticipated move, not going to be hitting, and a nice attempt again, just Ethernal moving out slightly. Ethernal being on Falstad, something that isn't as common. You're mostly seeing him on those melee assassins, but...
I mean, they took it all away. Yep. Illidan, Kerrigan, Sonya...
I mean, we mentioned it before, and then they ban Kerrigan. It's like, how much can you do? And that's why I thought maybe they would go Diablo into Zeratul, so Ethernal would have Zeratul, but it's the case now, is that he will be playing Falstad.
Now, Thrall's been taking a lot of block recently in high-level Europe games, but he has once again gone for the Rolling Thunder to instead get those long-distance pokes, finishers, and a little bit of mana return as well when you attack the targets that called Chain Lightning.
Well, that's actually a really good position there for Hollow for a moment. We'll back off, though, realizing that Ethernal was rotating up. And actually, this is a lot of pressure that they're able to put on because Ethernal was able to get up there so fast. And, of course, the Shrine is becoming active now, but getting a tower this early on is a good move there by TEH89.
Yeah, usually when the Shrine begins, if you don't get a takedown, you'll both be level 3.5 just about. Now we have the 89 reaching level 4 a little bit quicker. But of course, Falstad cannot fly bottom yet, so the Chips will get the first skeletons.
I think they're giving this up. Yeah, completely. They're just looking to soak and give it up. Unfortunately, the plans went a little bit awry because Lunara was pushed out from the bottom completely.
Yeah, they should have been slightly more ahead in XP perhaps at this point.
Yeah. But they will wrestle it away for the moment here. Very slow and steady here from both teams. Falstad can fly down now, so they're actually not giving up. They can reinforce this quite quickly off the back of that. But if Chips had pressed the issue on towards the Shrine earlier, they definitely could have got it. But in the end, it's just going to be a slowdown.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was smart for both teams to start with a very standard approach in the last game, because the nerves are still a little bit frayed when you start the opening match of a game. This one is definitely going to have more fireworks, but for now we still see a bit of a slower start. And we saw that attempt by TEH89 to do the 3-1-1 formation, 3 in the top lane, but it was quickly countered by the Chips. Who knows that there's no rush to get that Punisher too quickly.
Bait on the jump over from Zarmany, and it is an arcane Punisher, so it's a bit of a nuisance to say the least, but not that strong, this first Punisher. So she'll probably only just get the wall, and they will be able to back off, although Rema is looking for a hook, and he will not get it, as they do grab Diablo up towards the top. I don't think they can kill him, though. It's a bit too far forwards.
It's ironic that Remmerballer, he's played Stitches twice. Last game, there were 0 valid hook targets, pretty much. Everyone had mobility or escape or teleport or dash. Now, 4 out of 5 targets are very attractive hook targets, and I'm talking about everyone except Tassadar.
Yep.
But he's missed 4 out of 4.
Yeah, true enough.
But once he gets one, it'll be great. And I honestly believe early game hooks don't matter that much. Like, yeah, even takedowns aren't as impactful. It's the late game that makes you really demotivated to engage in a long poke war against him, because late game hooks can just end the game.
It's true. Full contend build as well over on the side of Johanna. Always great for this map. Of course, you've got to be keep in mind, though, that it doesn't do extra damage to the monsters on the shrines. But
that's why you need that Eternal Retaliation at level 4.
Yep.
Because it does some damage and it groups it up for your team. But because it doesn't do bonus, you need to do it very
that's a kill.
often.
That's great blocking. That's going to be first blood. That will be Thrall going down. Hollow does fall up towards the top. And Chris coming up for the blind. A little bit too late, though.
Nature's Calling by Sport Billy. Love it.
Yes.
So much poison damage on everything that isn't a hero. Including buildings, shrine minions, and lane minions. So,
and of course, getting those wells at the beginning of this game, very important. Now that takes the power. If a shrine pops up towards the top, for example, not having a well up there is a huge impact on put it in the chips' longevity in that potential fight.
yeah, and it's 50-50. The first one was at the bottom, so the next one will be mid or top.
It's really good play. I really like them just focusing down that well and just getting on out for that particular reason.
But it's going to be in the middle for now.
How much structural damage did they do towards the middle? Anything at all?
Yeah, they got... oh, in the middle?
On the other side?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, nothing. Okay.
Nothing yet.
Yeah.
So roughly equal footing, level 9 has been reached. And if anyone gets a takedown, they'll be well on the way to get both the Punisher as well as level 10. This is a very important moment in the game.
Very, very close right now. And you see Thrall still stuck up towards the top there. Just slowly soaking some experience, slowing down that hard camping. Killing it off for the most part is really important, but Sports Billy does move up.
Lunara showing how it's done.
Yep.
With the wave clear. Will kill the Fallen Shaman even before Thrall in 1/4 of the time that he was there.
And very, very much so, blow for blow on this shrine. It's going to be a Frost Punisher when it pops out. Chris moving forwards here, knowing the power of Johanna, can get a condemn in, get a little bit more damage done. Kayle fast if he's able to land a Verdant Sphere. Flame Strike catches a few more. And we'll see Eternal now coming along. They realize they need to commit all 5 to this. They've got level 10 as well. And that actually, that is Apocalypse.
Yeah. I was thinking he's going to go Lightning Breath because of the health talent at level 7.
It makes me want Zeratul even more now, but anyway.
The synergy they got here is to gust someone into a wall, Apocalypse them, and maybe even keep them there with Force Wall.
That's true. They could grab that. It's an ambitious combination, but it's very, very powerful if it does hit. Going onto that well once again. The Punisher's zoning them out towards the top here, and Athero might die. Oh, that Ancestral Healing keeping him alive just for the moment.
Almost want to say lucky that it hit, because that arrived very late, and he was at about 2% of his life. And he was on fire.
And the thing is that you can put the Ancestral Heal on towards a warrior like Diablo pretty early on, because he has such a huge health pool anyway. But of course, you kind of want to spare it just in case you don't need to use it.
You do want to bait out damage, of course.
Yes.
So you don't exactly cast it when someone is half life.
But it was close.
Yeah, it was a bit close. Zarmany unwilling to give this up, making use of the clustering with an Apocalypse.
That was
Neon!
a brilliant combination there from Athero, as he was able to land the charge, grab, and Apocalypse in perfect synchronization on towards Kayle fast. Great kill.
And keep in mind, Thrall was never here. Holocrontus pushing the top. Now, this is not without value, but that means that the 89 was supremely confident in the knowledge that they're going to get a 5v4 at worst. With everyone clustering around the camp, Apocalypse was able to get a really good hit off. A nice job by Tassadar.
Did Sami have full information? I think he threw down Oracle, right? And was able to see everything before it, and knowing that Thrall was at the top as well. So, perfect information, right?
Yeah, I mean, even without Oracle, they would have known.
No.
5v4 at worst.
Very, very nice. And that is 2-0 at the moment in terms of the kills. A bit more of an aggressive position in this game, despite not too many kills.
It would seem you need to be very worried when Zarmany on the Tassadar is staying on the occupy point,
right?
Even though he's dropping to 10% life. Like, why are you still staying there?
Yeah. Be careful.
Have you got your friends coming?
Probably. That's always the scary thing when you play this game. It's like, why are you being aggressive? Are you just rubbish, or are you?
And I always say, assume the most dangerous thing.
Right, exactly. That's what you should.
It's okay to be wrong against amateurs.
Yes.
But if you're also wrong against the right decision, which is also the most dangerous thing, then that's really dangerous.
That's the best thing. Give your opponent the benefit of the doubt in terms of why are they sticking around.
Yeah.
I feel that that's the best philosophy, especially in Hero League.
Yeah.
Although maybe not.
Always try to guard myself when I think an opponent is playing badly.
Yeah.
I always try to think, what if this was the smartest thing possible? What then does it mean?
Right, exactly. And normally that results in you dying.
let's say your Cho'Gall Abathur starts slapping you, just run. Because there must be backup.
Exactly. Why is he doing this? All right. Well, another shrine once again, and it's going to be the Mortar Punisher, and a very easy take here from a level 13. TEH89 is level 13. Only just came in there from putting in the chips, and that will be a nice strong push. They're doing a lot of structural damage now, actually. Ooh, on towards.
Perfect hook there on Rhaegar.
Oh!
Grand Paquette!
The Sundering coming out from Hollow at the back, but he's going to actually die himself.
There we go.
Oh, and the Apocalypse here, not really doing too much there at the same time. The Thrall for Rhaegar. Now them losing one of their main healers, though. It might not be easy here for TEH89 to really stick around. Hook back on towards Eternal, looking to kill him off. Future Bile slowing him down. That's going to be a kill. With Rhaegar down, they needed to disengage from this, and they're not gonna. Thrall for Rhaegar, it's in favor of chips at the moment, and that's another kill, 3 for 1.
Yeah, the chips started here trading blow for blow, orc for orc, but they were able to get the follow-up hook, and finally will take the triple takedown there. Not exactly mitigating the damage that the Mortar Punisher was doing, as they didn't have a single person on it, so we'll lose the entire wall here against it, but still a decent mitigation of the damage that could have been done against them.
I don't see his full shield builds as much on Rhaegar anymore, but, well, we're in this world now, and overall, it can work out nicely. I'm a big fan of, like, still having tidal waves in there as well, though, so we will see. As War Sports Billy, he is dead. Dead? Dead, question mark? No! No! Oh, and this is a disaster! They've gone too far!
Malfury!
Oh my god.
Oh, the chips. Oh, the chips. Another moment in a very clear 5 versus 3 to 4.
The chips are falling, Grubby. Oh no. I can't believe they didn't get Lunara and all of
Red
that.
Riding Hood got away there.
I cannot believe. Look at her. So smug. Oh, that was brilliant. Brilliant stuff in the end by TEH89 to rotate.
I'm glad for Lunara, but I'm sad for Malf and Thrall because they were so close together.
Yeah.
One Moonfire away.
One Moonfire away.
Very close victories here again by the 89. The way they won the last game, as well as this fight, like where they almost would have lost. I mean, even if they had lost Lunara, though, the counterattack would have still been real.
Yeah, Lunara really didn't contribute much to the 2.5 kill people kill, I suppose, as we'll even steal away Easy Camp. They could actually take this whole bottom of the map at the moment and be very, very secure in their position with the 16 talent that they have at the moment.
Now, interestingly, Rhaegar has gone for the reduction in mana on the Lightning Shield. He will get an untalented version himself when casting it on someone else, presumably Diablo. Diablo gets a 12% shield.
Go down and capture that, boys.
Oh, they didn't get the camp yet?
No.
I think they're delaying it.
You think?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. I mean, that can work too.
That would be like a very funny mistake, which, by the way, has happened as well, so I don't fault you for that.
Yes, it has.
Super random gust.
But now, I mean, that bottom lane actually will push in very nicely against it's the perfect thinking for that top shrine.
And look at the middle lane.
And it's well against no well up here. So TEH89 has a big advantage on that shrine fight. If they don't get on the well, they're on the well.
Now, Falstad doesn't have gust. Oh,
that's a blow up on towards one. Diablo goes down. Now they can't really do much.
Now Falstad doesn't have Diablo.
Yeah, what are they supposed to do? They just back off. I think they even just go to middle and bot, sacrifice this,
but
and go do damage.
The chips should leave only Johanna or Stitches here and send 4 people mid. Because there's no recourse for the 89.
Blocks.
Sending only Thrall here is such a huge mistake because the only choice the 89 had was to go middle. Yeah. And I feel like the chips should have anticipated that.
Yeah.
Keep one person here, send the rest.
I agree.
And not one guy. Like, even if you said nobody, that's fine. Then you will push top with 4 yourself.
Especially in a dangerous direction as well. Not even just kind of going back and then rejoining the lane.
Through the middle.
Yeah, through the middle.
Yeah. And the chips could have done 2 things. They could have kept 5 top and then push in with 4.
Yeah.
Clear the way for the Punisher. Make sure that Punisher starts working on a keep rather than a fort. But now they've just done the worst of everything, unfortunately for them.
This was perfect for TEH89. You lose Diablo, as we say, you go over there and you do structural damage instead of that. And actually, they might fall back and get the shrine still. And they may even get Crisplosion here if they're not careful. Blast Shield comes out, Sport Billy just going absolutely ham. But they can fall back and get this, potentially. If they created a perimeter...
Well, if the chips want it, they will get it. Guaranteed. 4.
True.
But how much would they lose for it?
Yeah, how much do they commit?
And that's what you're playing at here, of course.
Exactly.
Ooh, that would have been huge.
I mean, they can gust.
Yeah.
And slow this down even further, and it's getting severely close now. There's the force wall. They're going to block this out. Can they stop them? That flame strike just needs to come in. A big verdant field flame strike.
One more for the Reds.
They should get it now. They should get it. A nice attempt to delay here from TEH89, and they may have overextended in the end. As the Ancestral Heal will keep him alive, but it doesn't matter. The hook on in. You may as well not have Ancestral Healed him at that point, as the Punisher now will go to work on this top 4.
Yeah, great hook by Remmer Baller, getting that fast out there. Now they can start to work on their keep disadvantage and hero level disadvantage. And this is an Arcane Punisher.
That's a strong one. It's a strong daddy for sure. I love the Arcane Punisher. The other ones I don't like too much.
Yeah, he's definitely, I think, the best one.
He's the MVP.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of MVPs, gonna blow up Diablo. He gets shredded under the power of that Punisher and the damage coming out. This is a great push for them. They're all poisoned. They're all quite low, but I don't think Lunara is going to be able to slow them down for too much.
I don't think Diablo should even be baiting the Punisher jump. Normally it's the Warrior's job, but he doesn't have the Shadow Charge level 7 talent that reduces crowd control effects.
Sack the keep. Just let it go. Keep Diablo alive.
Or have Tassadar bait the stun.
Yeah, Dimensional Shift away.
Because you can turn on Dimensional Shift or Barrel Roll as it jumps if you're fast enough.
Yeah. True. I mean, that's what we see a lot from Muradins that get picked up, right? They just dwarf toss as they get jumped on top of. And that's a thing.
Because the AI is very predictable. You don't even need to react. You just need to anticipate.
Yep.
As long as you show yourself or you damage it and you're within range as it reaches the wall, it will jump on you. Very predictable.
So that move overall, sticking around on the shrine. I mean, I understand why they wanted to do that. I understood that they were buying time and stuff like that, but it has now put Chips in an even position with them again. Well, for top lane at least. But there is technically easy pockets of experience from those forts if the game goes on for another 5, 6, 7 minutes or so.
Yeah, the Chips definitely have pulled back. But I would say the 89 has 2 leads. The forts, which everyone can see. And also keep in mind that the next objective is going to spawn mid or bottom. If it spawns bottom, that's a win condition for the 89.
Yes.
They can push that all the way to the core. Of course, the Chips can try to pull it to the middle keep. If you say hello to the Punisher when you're standing next to your mid keep, he will get distracted and start attacking that instead of the core. But sometimes you'll see him walk back right to the core. He becomes slightly mercurial when he gets to those phases.
Yeah, he keeps on going.
So the best thing that can happen for the Chips is that the next objective will spawn middle. Once again, 50-50.
Yep. And it will spawn mid.
So even footing for both. They would both need to barrel through at least the keep. In the case of Chips, also a fort.
Master of Flames.
Pick up Gravity Lapse.
Okay, getting him out of there. Very, very important. But Master of Flames got picked up for KL Fast at level 20. Not as common that we see it in the professional play at the moment. So basically, they're looking for lockdown, and they potentially can get it from things like Malfurion roots, even Sundering to a certain extent if they all get clumped up in the same spot from a Sundering. But Diablo's going to take some damage, blinks away, almost chaining that bomb, but doesn't go down in the end. Actually, it's still on him there for a second one from that Verdant Sphere. It does get chained. Also, the Ancestral Healing on towards Athero, trying to keep him alive. Apocalypse hits quite a few of them there while they are locked up in all of this. Eternal comes in as well, flies on forwards, looking for the blow for explosion. But at the same time, Tassadar goes down.
It didn't proc. He took 16% damage all at once. Falstad down, Diablo down.
Put it in Chips. They're going to get the full team wipe here if they're not careful. Grand Paquette retreats away, but look at this. They don't even care. They're just going for core. They know that they've got this in the bag. The Rehgar has no ability to be able to slow this down. And just like that, the flip of a switch, they're able to take full control of this game.
Well then. Pretty big blunder here by the 89, I must say. Starting with the full Apocalypse. Well, it was not an initiation. Diablo was being hunted here. But Falstad was never there. I feel like he flew in really late.
And it kind of comes down to a lot of what we said at the beginning. We felt that what put in the Chips had in terms of a draft was very strong. All it took at level 20 was that one little engagement for them to completely snowball it out of control. And oh boy, did they. The damage that came out. Good stuff there. Good stuff.
Good hooks by Remmer Baller. Really go green. Thanks for that. We didn't have enough of that yet. Thank you. One more time. Yeah, great hooks leading to an uneven fight. 5 versus 4 for the Chips against the 89. Falstad wasn't there. Normally, Falstad will blow everyone away, and you can get a reset on such a bad fight. Apocalypse was great in and of itself. If that was followed up with this big hammer from Falstad, again, could have really helped. But there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a game. They tied it up 1-1. The Chips are still in the race, so to speak. And we're going to move on to Dragonshire, by the way, as map number 3. But let's talk a little bit more about the last couple of minutes, because I really think they were tremendously important, because we really saw a not so good engage. The Sunring didn't really connect to too many people. But Dread, what was the reason why the Chips still came on top, or came out on top for the last team fight?
I feel like it was just really good. Well, number one, Kel'Thas finally hit a gravity lapse on a primary target, got the blow up there, which is where the kill potential that they had the entire game. It finally kind of made it work. But then also the hook to secure the kill. As the root was on the ground, his positioning was perfect. Got it onto Falstad. The root went down, and it confirmed another kill. So it was just essentially finally executing what was a very good composition.
And let's actually take a look at the replay here, because it's very, it was a very explosive ending there.
Well, okay, but this is going to be actually in between. If we can slow down, look at the Sunder a little bit there. I feel like it could have split and hit Lunar as well, but that is the heavy amount of isolation that they go. Obviously going to be able to pick up Grand Piquete. Great ice block to be able to dodge the APOC. That happened all game. Really heads up there from Linked. But overall, I felt like the Sundering, if it had been a little bit more patient, could have been far more impactful in this fight. And they only get a small skirmish past this really there. Neon actually hitting another gravity lapse there to get a lot of damage there. Another hook coming out. It just, their comp had so much damage potential. Another gravity lapse. Imagine that. Like, so much kill potential there. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, whilst commentating that fight, actually, that was the fight that we had Rhaegar and Thrall die at exactly the same time, right? So it's very difficult for TEH89 to stick around and continue that fight when they don't have their full dedicated healer. But at the same time, one of the things that is important for me to also elaborate on is the fact that it is kind of difficult to disengage from the composition that they were going up against with Stitch's hooks, with the follow-up moves that they actually had available.
Yeah, so the Chips came out on top, Grubby. Did that surprise you? Because, once again, they did have the better draft. They couldn't make it work in game number 1. What did they do differently in this one compared to the first game?
Well, first of all, their draft is actually like their hooks actually can work now.
Yeah.
Because there are 4 attractive hook targets. You can see that. Rhaegar, Falstad, Diablo. Only Tassadar really wasn't.
Right.
And when they did land hooks with follow-up Gravity Sphere, which you hope to expect that often from top teams. And when they do land, like Dread was saying, like that will result in a lot of damage. And it will be hard for Diablo to stay alive. Now, the Ancestrals, really on point. They saved Diablo a number of times. But sometimes even then afterwards, he would still get locked down over and over by like Johanna, who'll be like on the other side. So, it worked out as needed.
Seems good. So let's actually take another look at how well the Chips played in another replay, Jet.
Yeah, so this is the very end, the last engagement here, and it was really well done. First, Gravity Lapse hits, force the bolt. Guess what? We've got a hook to respawn. Really well done there. Sunder, I feel like, was not impactful again, but guess what? Another Gravity Lapse, forcing a large amount. Trank is running right now, so that APOC's not going to matter. The DPS coming out. Johanna has her shield. Guess what? Another Gravity Lapse hits. Later, guess what? Root comes out. There comes another hook. It's just the Gravity Lapses forced from the Kel'Thas there, one after the other, and then with that amount of pressure forced, Stitch is getting a hook with the roots underneath him. It was just very well played. That was how I